Good morning students. Hope you all are doing fine and doing revision of all the topics that we have covered so far. So without any further ado, let's start with another very important topic, which is prepositions. So what is a preposition? A preposition is a word placed before a noun or a pronoun to show the relation between the noun or pronoun and some other word in a sentence. So let us understand this with the help of an example. I saw the teacher in the school. So in sentence 1, the preposition in, so in is your preposition. So the preposition in shows the relation between the noun teacher and the noun school. Now next sentence, there is a cow in the field. So in sentence 2, again the preposition in shows the relation between two things, that is cow and field. Now moving on, kinds of prepositions. So prepositions are of 5 different kinds. First one is your simple preposition. These are among the most common type of prepositions. In, of, to, up, with, at, by, for, from, on, till, etc. These are all your simple prepositions. Now next, compound prepositions. They are generally formed by prefixing a preposition to a noun or an adjective or an adverb. For example, without, within, outside, inside, into, behind, besides, beneath, below, across, between, and so on. These are all your compound prepositions. Now next, double prepositions. Two simple prepositions joining together to form one which connects the noun or pronoun to the rest of the words in a sentence is called double preposition. Outside of, out of, from out, from behind, from beneath, in between, and so on. These are all your double prepositions. So now let us take an example. She is sandwiched in between two of her cousins. Now next, participle prepositions. So notwithstanding, concerning, pending, regarding, and so on. These are your participle prepositions. They are participles of verbs used as prepositions. So let us take an example. Notwithstanding the resistance offered by him, he was arrested by the police. Notwithstanding So here's a sentence using notwithstanding. Notwithstanding the resistance offered by him, comma, he was arrested by the police. Now moving on, phrase prepositions. Group of words used with the force of a single preposition is called phrase preposition. By means of, because of, on account of, in opposition to, with regard to, for the sake of, instead of, on behalf of, with a view to, in the event of, and so on. These are all your phrase prepositions. So let's take an example. So we will take, for example, on behalf of. So let's form a sentence using on behalf of. So on behalf of the staff, he read the address. Fine. So moving on. Now, prepositions in at, on. They are used as preposition of time. They are also used as preposition of place. Now, preposition of time are prepositions which denote time in a sentence, whereas preposition of place are prepositions which denote a place in the sentence. So, first we will see the use of at, in and on as preposition of time. So, at, it is used to show exact or specific time, chiefly clock time. For example, my interview is at 3 p.m. I get up at 6:30 a.m. and go for a run. Then at is also used with meal times. For example, he will be there at dinner, or you can say he will be there at breakfast. Now next, it is also used with dawn, dusk, sunrise, noon, midnight, etc. So, noon is exact 12 o'clock during the daytime and midnight is again exact 12 o'clock during the night time. Fine. So, for example, the shop closes at midnight. He ordered the army to invade at dawn. Now, at is also used with festivals. For example, we visit our relatives at Diwali. Now, next, in. We usually use in with parts of the day and longer periods of time, such as months, years, seasons, and centuries. So, for example, my birthday is in January. I usually relax in the evening. The city won its liberty in the 16th century. My brother was born in 2001. Now next, on. On is used for days and dates. For example, the meeting is scheduled on 16th March. Next, he was born on 24th September, or you can also say he was born on September 24th. Both are correct. He will meet you on Monday. Now, next is preposition of place. So, now we will see the use of at, in and on as preposition of place. So, now at again denotes exact or specific place or location. For example, he will meet you at the station. Next, the students are sitting at the corner of the room. So, here it is used to tell the exact place inside the room where the students are sitting. Next sentence, Raj lives at Rajendra Nagar in Delhi. Next, Vivek lives at 4732 Marshall Drive. Now next, in. In is used for larger areas when specific location is not mentioned. For example, my grandmother was born in Sweden. The kangaroo is found in Australia. The students are sitting in the room. The children are playing in the park. Now next, on. When talking about places, on is used when there is a surface contact between object and place. For example, the ball is kept on the table. I left the keys on the counter. So, as you can see from the figure, there is a surface contact between the ball and the table. Hence, we will say the ball is kept on the table. Fine. Now, moving on. Now, we will do some confusing pairs of preposition. So, first one is beside, comma, besides. Now, beside means at or by the side of, or you can say next to. Whereas, let me write it down. So, beside means at or by the side of. Whereas, besides means in addition to or other than. So, it means in addition to or other than. So now let us understand this with the help of an example. He sat beside her all the time. So here beside means by her side. So he sat by her side all the time. Now next, I live beside the stream. Another sentence, we have lot of things in common besides music. So here besides mean in addition to. Now next, between and among. So between is used in speaking of two persons or things, whereas among is used in speaking of more than two persons or things. So between is used in speaking of two persons or things, whereas among is used in speaking of more than two persons or things. For example, the cat sat between Mohan and Rohan. He sat among the boys. The ball was hidden among the leaves. Now, as you can see from the given figure, in the first figure, a ball is placed between two blocks, whereas in the second figure, a ball is kept among many blocks. So now, next is since and for. Now, since as a preposition is used before a noun or a phrase denoting some point of time, whereas for is used to denote a period of time. So keep this in mind, for is used to denote a period of time, whereas since is used to denote some point of time. For example, he has been working since morning. I have been living in Mumbai since 1980. I have been doing nothing for 2 hours. So 2 hours is basically a period of time. It's a duration. Hence, for will be used. So I have been doing nothing for 2 hours. Now next is in and within. Now in means at the end of, whereas within means before the end of. Is it clear? So in means at the end of, whereas within means before the end of. Let us understand this with the help of an example. So first sentence, he will return in a week. So it means that he will return at the end of a week. Now next sentence, he will return within a week. So this sentence means he will return before the end of a week. Now next, I will return the book within 5 days. So now moving on, next is in and into. So in is used to show that something is inside and is at rest. In case of in, no change of medium or state takes place. Whereas into is used to show movement from outside to inside. Basically movement towards the inside of something. So in case of into, medium or state changes. So let us understand with the help of an example. We are sitting in the classroom. Fine. Next, the boy jumped into the river. So here basically there is a movement from outside to inside of river. Hence we will use preposition into over here. Now next sentence, I opened the door and stepped into the house. So now, as you can see from the given figure, in figure 1, the ball is already inside the box and is at rest. Hence we will use in over here. So the sentence will be, the ball is in the box. So the sentence will be, the ball is in the box. Whereas in the second figure, there is a movement from outside to inside of the box. Hence, we will use into over here. So, the sentence will be, the ball is going into the box. So, is it clear? Now, moving on. Next is above and over. Now, above represents something at a place higher, or you can say horizontally upwards than another person or object. Basically, it's an extended space over. Whereas, over represents something that is directly upwards, that is vertically upwards. You can say it's kind of perpendicular. Over has another meaning also. It is also used when one thing covers the other. Fine. So, let us understand this with the help of an example. The bird is hovering over the car. The sun is over our head at noon. Rahul placed blanket over the child. So, here over is used to cover the child. Next, the sky is above our heads. Next sentence, the rivers are flowing above the danger mark in UP. Now, moving on, next is below and under. So, under means at a position directly lower than another. So, basically, you use under to say that one thing is at a lower level than another and that the other thing is directly above it. So, in short, under means at a position directly lower than another, whereas below is normally used when one thing is at a much lower level than another. So, basically, it's not directly under another, it's at a much lower level than another object or thing or person. Now, also keep this in mind, below is also used in measurement of temperature and height to show lower level from marking. For example, the dog is under the table. There is a tunnel 200 meters below the surface. The temperature is below the freezing point. The sun sets below the horizon. Now, as you can see in figure 1, the dog is sleeping under the table, and in figure 2, the sun is setting below the horizon. So, is the difference clear? So, that's it for today. We will continue further in the next lecture. Thank you.